I'm the founder and CEO of ShareLove.Fund. Today we are in week 10 of our RYT 200 registered yoga teacher training 200-hour course. This is what separates the yogi practitioners from the teachers. You are earning your yoga teaching degree. We'll start with a brief quote for centering. This mug was designed by our inaugural graduating class. We were founded in 2020 in response to COVID. We created a methodology, the SHARE method, to train incarcerated women to become certified yoga teachers. This is not a method on how to do yoga. It's a method of how to train anybody to become a confident yoga teacher so that they may have a vocation that respects their mind, body, and soul. In practical terms, it means that our incarcerated women, should they be released, can become a content provider for ShareLove.Fund, regardless of a criminal record. Anybody can video from their iPhone at home and teach Zooms. And from a liability perspective, it's no problem on Zoom. And also, should the women we serve not be released, they can become teachers in their custodial facilities. Maybe they won't leave the facility. Some of our constituents are serving life sentences, but their students will. And as teachers, as all of you will be, because this is a RYT 200 registered yoga teacher training. As teachers, we can live vicariously through our students. Not everybody taking this yoga teacher training wants to be a teacher or will be a teacher. And sometimes it's just great to enroll in this teacher training because it forces us to do a little yoga. So with that in mind, I just want to say this mug was designed by our inaugural class. And on the back is a quote. And the quote says, "The most efficient way to do it is to do it." And this quote is by Amelia Earhart. We are a women's empowerment focused yoga school. That doesn't mean that men and boys and undefined can't take our course. It just means that we celebrate the women who have inspired us. And anybody can be inspired by women. It doesn't matter if you're a woman. So Amelia Earhart is definitely an inspiration. She was brave and a forerunner in her field. And again, the quote that she said, which our inaugural class put on our mug, is the most effective way to do it is to do it. So without further ado, let's start with some stretching. So a lot of the feedback that we got was, I want to be bendy, make me a pretzel. So that takes time, and we have time on our sides, especially our incarcerated women. And so let's get started. So each week we have a pose of the week. The pose of this week is Revolved Lunge. So it's just coming down to lunge and revolved. But we're going to start with stretching, and then we'll get into that. So this class is going to be a deep stretch. If that does not float your boat, then skip to another class and let us begin. Let's take a few breaths together, and then we'll move and stretch while we breathe. You can have your hands on your knees, and we'll just try to warm up the spine a little bit. Going around, and just try to find that outer boundary, connecting your sits bones to the mat, and using your breath to get a little deeper into this. So let's roll to one side 3 times. Okay, and let's roll to the other side. And you can continue to breathe. As your hips are going in a circle, you can think of your breath going in a circle. And you can think of our quote by Amelia Earhart, the most effective way to do it is to do it. So sometimes just gotta roll your sleeves up and do it. We'll lean forward. This is a little bit like cat-cows. Inhale the arms up, and exhale, lean forward. Now we're just gonna hold this for a little bit. It's gonna be a little boring, but that's how you become a pretzel. You know, it takes time, so it's a little boring. So if you want to turn on music, please feel free. We generally don't use music at ShareLove.Fund because we're pretty low budget. As you can see, we film live and raw, and we don't have a social media expert and things like this. YouTube is pretty strict about the copyright laws, and it's just, even when we had original music donated by musicians, sometimes it triggered things, and we depend on the monetization of YouTube. We depend on the commercials to fund our incarcerated women's program, and so it's just easier to not take any risks and not have music. But that doesn't mean that you can't play your own soundtrack as we go. So if you have another device you can add music to, I recommend it, because we're just going to take time in deep stretches today, and that might be a little boring. So as you're leaning forward, you're really thinking of yourself as a pancake. Try to pull back. Imagine your tailbone pulling back and your arms pulling forward. You don't want to roll up. You're trying to really keep your sits bones grounded, but at the same time, leaning forward. And using your breath to fall deeper into the stretch. And we're just going to hang out here. Takes about 90 seconds to really fall into it. Allow your body to stop resisting. Use your breath to create space where there is no space. Find comfort in the discomfort. If you feel sharp shooting pain, definitely come out of this. Nothing herein shall be construed as medical advice. You can sort of tell the difference between stretching and pain by, does it feel symmetrical? Here, depending on how you're sitting, if your legs aren't symmetrical, like mine are not exactly, because my left foot is tucked in closer than my right. I'm not in a full lotus. So if you're not in a full lotus, you're not symmetrical, unless you're in Cobbler's pose. And if you're not symmetrical, you may feel it more on one side than the other. But if your legs are symmetrical and you're feeling it more on one side than the other, then that is a clue that maybe you are approaching an injury and you should make an adjustment. Let's slowly walk our hands up. Bring your neck from side to side. doing a head clock. And if your legs are like mine where they're not symmetrical, switch it so that we can be symmetrical. And we'll go back down again, but first we will rainbow our arms. So this rainbow pose is great because you can do it in an office, in a chair, anywhere. And I love it for our incarcerated women's program because we preach that you can paint a rainbow wherever you are. So just like you can hang a black cloud over any situation, you can bring a rainbow to any situation too, just with your smile. Your smile can be contagious. Share it freely. Reach, 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 and back. Reach, 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 and back. Reach, 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 and back. If you feel tension in your neck, or even if you don't, you can look down, take a breath, look back up, look down, look back up. Try to lean to the side while still keeping this hip grounded. And ask yourself what you're afraid of. Do you think you're really going to rip if you let go? What happens if you just surrender into this pose? Keeping your back straight. Here we're stretching. We're also strengthening. It's not a dump in the arm. You can even put one arm to the side, across. So our pose of the week is Revolved Lunge. And when we do revolved poses, we twist, and it's a cleansing. And stretching is a cleansing too. So we don't get pure by eating nachos and relaxing. Purification comes by beating it out of us. Sweating, twisting, but also by relaxing and stretching. We can't just relax and do nothing. But when we slow down our breath, are deliberate in our actions, and stretch, we can break up lactic acid buildup and allow purification. Inhale, arms up. Bring the arms to the side. Do little shoulder rolls back. Little shoulder rolls forward. Big heart opener. 1, 2, 3. Arms together. 1, 2, 3. Bring the neck side to side. You can apply some pressure with your hand and your other hand. Inhale, arm up and over. And we'll hold this on this side as well. You can have your elbow down. Keeping your back straight. Reach, 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 and release. Reach, 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 and release. You can bring an arm to the side so that you're building strength while you stretch. And kind of bending in half from the upper body. Working your core to keep your back straight. Reach, 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 and release. So holding poses force us to find comfort in the discomfort. They force us to recognize that a lot of times we push paper without addressing the real issue. So you can run around real fast in an exercise class, and that's great if you're working on cardio. But if you want deep muscle build and deep stretches, you have to hold it. You have to check in. Inhale and then come back. And now we're going to do another forward fold. This way we are symmetrical because we switched our legs earlier. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, lean forward, walk your hands out. So you're going to walk your hands forward, but then also keep your sit bones down. And we're just going to stay here a while. Feeling the hips peel open, allowing the chest to fall. As your mind wanders, bring it back to your breath. And this can serve as a meditation in that respect as well. You can think of your breath as a circle with no start or no end. Just total fluidity. If it feels comfortable, you can reach your hands out a little more, but really try to stay connected with your sits bones on the mat. Think about what is your largest point of tension. Why is your chest not a pancake? Is it your shoulders? Add some breath and let it go. Is it your hips? Add some breath and let it go. Really just try to open up. Imagine yourself as the lotus and you're ready to bloom. You're ready to surrender. We're holding this pose because it takes a while to open up. You can place your cheek on one side, your head, so that your cheek is on one side. It's getting a little bit of a neck stretch and it may be more comfortable in your forehead. We're reaching your fingers forward and relaxing. It reminds your shoulders to release. And really think of yourself as blooming. Constantly bringing your awareness back to your breath. Imagining your breath as a circle or a figure eight with no start or no end. Just a continuous flow of nourishment, allowing your body to open and expand, release, and be available to all the goodness that the world has to offer, but wise to say no to things that may not serve you. If you were resting your cheek on one side, you could put it on the other side so that you have symmetry in your neck. And again, we're just staying here a while because our body sort of says, okay, fine, I'll surrender. I'll get that deep stretch. When you don't budge, then you get results. This deep stretch will help us in our forward fold, a little bit in pigeon, even a little bit in happy baby. We're stretching the hip flexors, the lower back, the upper back. You'll feel it wherever is your tightest point. Some people might even feel it in their knee. The IT band. It just really depends where you're tight. So where you feel it is your tightest point, and then once you loosen up that area, then you'll feel it in your next tightest point. Let's just take a few breaths here, really releasing. The sensation of tightness may have dissipated, and then you know that you have elongated. Walking your hands up slowly, we're going to go into Cobbler's pose so that we are symmetrical. You can butterfly out a little bit, give your feet a little self-massage. From Cobbler's pose, we will do a twist. So you have your bottom leg is perpendicular, then your top leg is like this. You can bring your legs in a little more. So you're sitting in between them. Inhale the arms up and exhale, twisting to the side. You can walk your hands back. Keeping the spine long and strong. Using your eyes to get a little deeper in the stretch. Reducing tension in your shoulders. Now this twist is preparing ourselves for the twist that we will experience in Revolved Lunge. Really seeing how deep you can go. Keeping your spine straight. Inhale the arms up and exhale to the other side. Keeping the legs as they were, we're just twisting it on both sides with our legs the same. Using our eyes to get a little deeper into it. You can have your hand on the ground to leverage a little bit. As I like to say in our incarcerated women's program, that when you have nothing, you still have the ground beneath you. You are not free falling. I like to use the analogy from the Lego movie where one of the characters is just free falling. That's not us. So we have ground. We can leverage our asset of the ground to get a little deeper into this twist. So you always have something. Even when you feel like you have nothing, you always have yourself. You're going to have yourself as long as you are conscious. You're going to have your breath as long as you are alive. And you're going to have the ground sooner or later. Maybe you're on a chairlift or something. I have a few smarty pants in my kids' classes, but ultimately, you're going to have a surface beneath you. Even astronauts land eventually. So, and we just have to take what we have and use it to our advantage. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, shake out the legs. You can give it a little pat for circulation. A little toe taps. We'll go on the other side. Inhale the arms up, and we'll twist on this side. There's also another book that I love. It's a children's book. It's called Something from Nothing. And you can also always make something from nothing. As humans, we have an infinite amount of creativity, inspiration. No one will ever say, oh, I wish I didn't use up all my ideas in my 20s. You can have ideas till your last breath. And with ideas, you can make something out of nothing. At ShareLove.Fund, we certainly made something out of nothing. We use free YouTube to teach. We use a Google Drive to share information with custodial facilities. We were able to pretty much provide vocational training degrees to a whole lot of people for very little money with Teach for a Cause volunteers such as myself. I'm the founder and CEO, but I don't take a dime from ShareLove.Fund. In fact, I'm the largest donor because I just believe in it so much. I don't want to spend money on manicures or other things. I just really want to help the population we serve. Let's inhale, arms up, we'll come to the other side. And it's just a marker to know that you can make something out of nothing. All you need is an idea and some passion. So carpe diem. Wait, we'll inhale and we'll really stretch this other side. This will be the last side of this pose. Using the ground to leverage. So I encourage you to take the lessons from ShareLove.Fund and be inspired to make something out of nothing. Whether it is leftovers for dinner or business, or a staycation, which is always fun. You can take your ordinary surroundings and turn it into an experience just by being creative. We'll breathe a little deeper into this stretch, keeping the spine long and strong. This stretch is preparing ourselves for Revolved Lunge, our key pose of the day, of the week. Inhale, the arms up. Exhale. We'll shake it out again, this time in Cobbler's pose, so you can give yourself a little foot massage. You can open up your feet like you're reading a book. Oh, that's such a great book. We're gonna inhale our arms up, lean forward again, but this time we're gonna walk our hands to one side. So we're really stretching the back side, our back body on one side, trying to keep the sits bones grounded, but really just stretching. Letting the head fall and seeing where you feel it. We're going to be here a while because it takes time. If you don't feel a stretch, you can come more to the side or walk your hands out further. Sort of play around. Like for some people, they'll be more almost at like 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock. Some people will be more 3 o'clock. The point is that you are expanding your rib cage. How you do that, please modify so you get the most out of your time today. We'll be here a while. It'll be a little bit boring, but that's how we will get results. And all of this will lead into our peak pose of the week, the Revolved Lunge. And it'll help us. It will help us revolve. This is also helping us cleanse. So as we stretch, we can really release toxins that are stored in our body. It's one thing to eat healthy, but what do you do about all the junk that's already in there? So that's where really the stretching and the twisting comes in. So here, just try to use gravity to your advantage. If you feel tension in your neck, or even if you don't, you can check it by shaking your head no, shaking your head yes. Using your breath to really get deeper in the stretch. You can think of your breath as figure 8 or a circle with no start or no end. And this time you can think about a 4-part breath. So inhale, creating space between the inhale and exhale. Maybe in that space you want to reach. Exhaling. And creating space again between that exhale and inhale. Maybe you want to fall a little deeper into it. Please breathe at your own pace so that you can maximize the length of your breath, increasing your lung capacity, which also lowers your cortisol levels and gets you out of fight or flight mode. It has been shown to lead to better decision making, allowing you to respond instead of react. Let's try it at your own pace with the inhale, creating space between the inhale and exhale. Exhaling and creating space between that exhale and inhale, repeating the cycle again. You can go forth and prosper at your own pace. Just always remembering to breathe and nourish your body through increasing your oxygen levels and exhaling fully and completely, eliminating the toxins. We've been here a while and you may notice a difference in where your tightness is. As we said, you'll feel tightness in your tightest point. And as your body lengthens, where you feel tight can change. You can breathe in through your nose, creating space, and exhale long and smoothly through your mouth. Creating space and repeating. You can walk your hands a little bit to just try to find that deep, deep stretch. Relaxing the shoulders. Walking your hands up. We can rainbow our arms to one side and then the other. Butterflying our legs a little bit. Stretching the legs out. Long spine, inhale. Forward fold. You can bring your knees into your chest and stretch out one foot for the other, pedaling it out. Whatever feels good. You can also interlace your fingers and then push your legs out this way to your comfort zone. You can bend one elbow and then the other. Or both together. Straightening the arms to really stretch out the shoulders, kicking out one foot, then the other. By interlacing the fingers and stretching out the legs, you're creating space in your shoulders, elongating your arms. Can kind of shimmy up to really try to keep a straight back and then see what your comfort is for that. So if you have a straight back with your knees in your chest, that's fine. Before we were spending a lot of time with a curved back like this, so now we're kind of doing the opposite to to sort of work out the kinks from the curved back. And so this is a straight back exercise. To straighten your back, it might be easier to hold your toes from this side. Putting the elbows down can kind of help you think about a straight back. You can also sort of come at it like this, you know, at your comfort level, but keeping the forearms to the mat can help you focus on straightening that back. Coming back up, we'll go back into cobbler's pose, shaking it out. And we'll do the other side. You can give yourself a quick little foot massage and say good job. Arms up, exhale, and walk your hands to the other side. So this is a curved spine. You want to feel it on the side, and you're really just trying to stretch that side body. So maybe for you it's like this, maybe for you it's like this. Just play around with it. The point is to feel like you are using your breath to elongate. You can imagine your breath as a bubble or a water balloon. And each time you breathe in, you're slowly expanding it. Yoga is about creating space where there's no space, finding comfort in the discomfort. And we're going to hold this for a while because that's how our body lets go. We're trying to really elongate the connection between the hip all the way to the shoulder even, underarm, all the way to the wrist, the whole side body where our back muscles connect to our sit bones. So much of pain and tension can be avoided just by simple stretching techniques. And the more we stretch, the easier things are in our elder years. You can think about a brittle candy or a soft taffy, and which is more likely to break. Or you can think about office buildings in Los Angeles, how they're built to sway and they don't break. So with our Ukrainian program participants, we do a lot of spinal stretches and spinal flexibility because in combat, you want to be like a cat. You want to be able to fall on your feet. And by being flexible, it can minimize injury. Now, obviously, yoga is not a magic cure, and it's safer to not be in combat, but you can recover from a fall a little bit easier by going into it a little more flexible. So that's what we're trying to do here. We're just trying to kind of get our best foot forward. So we'll spend a few more minutes here. You're stretching the hip flexor, the back, the whole side body. Preparing ourselves for our peak pose. Revolved Lunge. Letting the knees fall open like a flower blooming. Breathing in through the nose and out the mouth. Inhaling light and love and exhaling all that doesn't serve you. Thinking of Amelia Earhart's quote, "The most effective way to do it is to do it." So if you want to be a pretzel, then we got to stretch. You can slowly walk your hands up. Shake out the legs. This time we are going to be opposite. So bring one hand to the outer edge of the foot. If you need to bend your leg, you can. And we're going to just stretch this way and just really get ourselves prepared for a peak pose. You can try to get a little deeper into it if you need. Stretching our IT band. You can play around with the arm overhead. Bending the elbows, supporting the neck. You feel ready, you can shake it out. Pulling your wrist to one side, pulling your wrist to the other side. Doing a head stretch and neck stretch. A little bit of a head clock, kind of having your neck go to each point in a clock. Slowly you can let your head go back, stretching your chin up to the sky in a head nod. And then very slowly bringing your head forward. You can put a little pressure to the back of the neck. We always criticize ourselves for having bad posture, but when you try to roll forward, it's not always that easy. So we're more upright than we think. On the other side, we can do this. Inhale, arms up. Again, we bring our hands to the other side and stretch. We can bring our arm forward. And just noticing, or above us, just noticing the difference in each side. Breathing into it. You can bend your knee if that is more comfortable. And we're just really getting at these twists in a bunch of different ways until our body sort of gives up and says, okay, fine, I'll be limber for you. Of course, don't pull a muscle. Listen to yourself. Stretching is about baby steps. Using your breath, inhale through the nose and exhale through the mouth. Inhaling through the nose and exhaling through the mouth. Yoga is about the movement and connectivity of breath and movement. Yoga means union or yoking. Pranayama is breath or life force. Sana is movement. So we're linking the breath and the movement. Inhale. Exhale. Reach your arms up. You can have the pointer fingers to one side, stretch. The other side, stretch. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Let it all out. Here, the spine is curved. And it's just a final relaxation. Slowly, you can walk the hands up. And we're going to continue our stretching on the mat. Please feel free to not dehydrate. Please feel free to hydrate. I think it was a Freudian slip because it's coffee, so I confess. So maybe I know better. Okay, we've done a lot of forward fold, so let's just kind of undo that by placing our feet on the mat, rolling our shoulders underneath, interlacing our palms, pushing our pelvis up, and kind of rocking a spine a little bit. Exhale. Come down to goddess. From goddess, lift your arms up. Cactus arms. From cactus arms, we'll put our legs up. Arms back straight. Inhale. Touch the toes. Exhale. Slowly, slowly, slowly bring the legs down for a little bit of an obliques exercise. Inhale, one leg in. Give it a hug, some self-love. Let it go to one side. And let's just do a twist this way. So here you want your shoulder on the mat. And you can use your hand to get a little deeper of a stretch. Your eyes are opposite your foot. You can come up, roll it out a little bit, and we'll really just try to stretch the back of the neck. So if you are more limber, you can go all the way back to your knees. You can also experiment with that one at a time. I'm not really there yet, so for me, this is just fine. For somebody else, you can just kind of experiment with one leg at a time. You also can do this against a wall, so maybe this is just enough of a hamstring stretch for you, so you can use a wall to brace yourself. However, I recommend not using a wall because without a wall, that's where you'll really push yourself to get a deeper stretch. So ideally, the knees could go on the ground by the ears. But if you're not there yet, you can do straight leg and pedal it out. Or if you're not there yet, you can have one leg up and pedal it out. And this is really great too, because this is working, you know, this is basically like how you build a six-pack too. So you're working your stomach muscles. So here with the knees slightly bent, we're pedaling it out, we're stretching the back of our neck. And you can also achieve this stretch in rabbit. Please remember to breathe. We have to kind of hold this for a while to achieve the benefits. If it's uncomfortable, please get out of it and go to child's pose. Child's pose is always an option available to you. Remember to breathe. This is an inversion, so you're also getting the benefits of that, lymphatic drainage. You're also stretching the top of your foot by pointing your toes. So there's a lot of benefits going on here. Back of your neck. The lateral muscles in your upper body. This helps us get more out of cat-cow when we turn to that. You can slowly come out of this. We'll go into happy baby. You can rock side to side, massaging out your spine, thanking it for its hard work. You can do a half happy baby to get a little deeper into the happy baby, or a full happy baby, or kind of like pedal it out as you want. You can use your elbows underneath to try to get more open. Here, what we want to achieve is our spine to have total connectivity with the mat. You can roll your chin up, roll your neck back to really think about, what if my whole body from my tailbone all the way to my neck, what if that touched the mat? So that's an ideal. You can put your head side to side and really just try to open up the hips, open up the hamstrings, keeping the feet flexed. And from here, you can give yourself a little self-love hug. Feet back up to dead bug, reaching up. We'll do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 for the obliques. Holding it for 10. 1, 2, with little dips up. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. If your neck bothers you, you can, do it with your elbows. Here, we'll just do 10 on one side and really work one oblique. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and we'll hold it for 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Do that on the other side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And now we'll hold it for 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We'll come back and we'll do little dips up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And we'll hold for 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Bring your chin in, roll your head back so your neck is a little bit closer to the mat. Slowly bring your legs down to work those stomach muscles. Inhale your other leg in. So for me, it's my right, but I'm not sure what side you did last time. And we'll bring it scissor across with our arm back. We're going to try to have our shoulder on the mat as well as our leg. You can use your hand on your hip to get a deeper stretch. Your eyes will face opposite of your foot. And we'll do a spinal twist. Really letting go and really just trying to twist the spine in a restorative pose. This can be great in the morning when your alarm goes off. You can kind of use one of these twists to wake up a little bit while still finishing that really good dream. Using your breath to just really try to squeeze out all those impurities. Bruce Lee said that pain is weakness leaving your body. You can give your knees a little self-hug or give yourself self-love by hugging your knees. Cross your legs like we're having a tea party. Grab your ankles. Bring them into your chest, and we're stretching this big muscle here. So obviously, please listen to your body. One trainer told me that injury always starts as a whisper. So when I talk about no pain, no gain, please use your own good judgment because you're not going to help yourself or those around you by getting an injury. But as long as it's not an injury and you're just working hard, Bruce Lee says that pain is weakness exiting your body. And so when you think about that, it helps you work through it, knowing that once you get past it, you will get stronger. So here we'll just spend a minute really opening up this muscle. These are very large and stubborn muscles. Trying to keep the sacrum on the ground, bringing the chin up. Trying to really keep the whole spine long on the mat. And again, we'll just use our breath. This is another way to get at pigeon, but it's a way to get at it by allowing our spine to relax and elongate. Believe it or not, I actually grew a half an inch past 40 doing yoga. I can't even believe it, but my driver's license, I'm a half inch taller than I was. So obviously I didn't grow, it's just the posture. But there's something to be said for it. So I really couldn't believe it. I found out because I told my son he's not 5'3", and because I said I'm 5'3", and you're not as tall as me, and then I measured myself, and lo and behold, I was 5'4". So it's not a lot of height, but I'm thankful for every little centimeter I can get. We'll breathe into this a little bit deeper. I think now he's fully surpassed me, but that was back in the day. You can ask yourself, what are you holding on to, and what will happen if you just let go? If you just let these hips open up and bloom like a flower, what will happen? Some people have been known to start crying in pigeon when they fully get the release. So these are really stubborn muscles. You can really spend quite a long time in this. I also recommend this pose just like this for people who have trouble falling asleep. You can sort of do this until you fall asleep. It helps for a number of things. First of all, it allows you to fit in yoga when you already have a jam day. Second, doing a release in a really large muscle can alleviate tension, and a lot of times it's our worries that are keeping us up at night. So by doing a stretch, you're sending a mind-body message that it's okay to surrender, to let go, and to let sleep and drowsiness overcome you. When doing the stretch in the morning, which I also recommend between snooze buttons, if you haven't been able to tell already, I think, I empathize for people who it's hard to wake up or go to sleep. Transitions can be tough, especially for our youth students. But in the morning, doing this pose, it can be a little bit uncomfortable. And so that discomfort is kind of just enough to sort of get the brain firing activity and get your impulses going to wake up. We'll take a few more breaths here. Really trying to keep a long spine, keeping the back straight. Breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. It's a really big and stubborn muscle, so it just takes a long time to open up. So this is why yoga can be a little boring, but it is less boring when we do it together, and it's even less boring when you have your favorite playlist going on. You can even do this to an audible book you want to read. The things that are good for you don't have to be torture, and it just takes a little bit of strategic planning to optimize your routine to get the things that are good for you working for you. That can be with diet. It's possible to make healthy food convenient. Just takes more planning. It also helps if you're comfortable with a routine. Inhale, give yourself a little hug, shake it out, kick it out. You can do a little bicycle and bicycle the other way. Plant your legs, your feet on each side of the mat and do a little windshield wiper on each side. Giving a little deeper stretch in the hip by placing a foot over the knee. You can bring the arms out to the side, bring them up, stretch on one side. You can bend down to touch this foot, putting the other hand on your thigh to push it down. Just releasing. Trying to get your full back on the mat, which is not possible, but that's really where the stretch comes in. So you're stretching the thigh, and you're also stretching the hip. Windshield wiper on the other side. Bringing one knee down, placing the foot on top. You can grab a hold of your foot here, placing a hand on the thigh. And this is sort of like a variation of dancer. As you guys recall, there are 45 key signature poses of the Share method. The reason why we narrowed down to 45 is because our program was developed for incarcerated women so they may confidently earn a yoga degree. We wanted to narrow the scope of yoga so they could feel confident. And we felt that with 45 poses, you actually have an infinite amount of poses, because for example, dancer's pose, which I'll show in a minute because this is the RYT 200 and I know we're just learning the poses together. But you could think of this pose that I'm doing now as a variation of dancer. So you don't need to get up, you can just stay in this pose, but I just want to explain this concept because this is a teacher training. So dancer's pose. Sorry, I'm like a little wobbly from all that mat work. Sorry, oh wait, I'm like super wobbly. Okay, so dancer's pose. Oh wait, you know what I think it is? I think it's my hair product on the mat. It's really slippery. All right, dancer's pose. I'm sorry. Okay. Dancer's pose is like this. Super wobbly today. Oh wait, I'm just gonna hold on. Okay, so dancer's pose is like this. And what we're just doing on the mat is like this. And so it's just not that different. It's really stretching the same muscles. So you could think of this as a variation with a variation of dancer. That's nothing that you have to memorize. That's just me trying to explain that with the 45 key poses, you have an infinite amount of variations and possibilities. Oh wait, let's bring our knees into chest and we'll do the tea party on the other side and then bring our ankles in and we'll do that hip stretch that we did on one side on the other side. So this is live on YouTube, no glamour shots. When I can't do the pose, you see it for real, but that's the whole point of yoga. This is a practice, not a perfect. This is about your journey. This isn't about looking perfect. This is about getting what you need out of this to optimize yourself. Some people are in this program because they need a job. Other people are in this program because it's like a milestone for them. Maybe they ran a marathon last year and this year they want to be a certified teacher. Some people are in this program because being in a degree program helps them prioritize exercise. And so they almost, if it's just a regular exercise class, it's hard to justify to friends and family, hey, I'm busy. But when you're in a teacher training, it's easier to say, hey, I need to go to my weekly Zoom or my weekly live on YouTube. So different people have different reasons for being here, but the reason everyone should focus on is what are you getting out of it? This is your time. Your time is your most valuable asset. What are you getting out of it? And please share comments on Teachable with us, because we constantly strive to improve, and we want, at ShareLove.Fund, we want you to maximize your time. If we can make each minute more productive for you, then that is the greatest accomplishment. So all comments are welcome, positive, negative, silly, constructive, crazy ideas, whatever you want to share. We advocate amplifying voices. We want to amplify your voice. We don't want to put a muzzle on anyone. And this free flow exchange of ideas, it helps us be better and do better. Let's bring these legs in a little more for a deeper stretch. You're also working your arm muscles by really pulling your legs in. Thinking about keeping your spine long. Inhale, hug your hands, hug your legs together. You can grab, hold opposite elbows. You can reach up again, stretching a little bit, let go, roll up to a seated position. Come to table. We're gonna do cat-cow, and notice how you feel. Normally we start with cat-cow relatively in the beginning, but here we did a whole lot of stuff before. Let's go into cat and walk the hands to one side and really stretch the side body. Keeping the arms straight, just kind of kicking out the hips to one side. So we did this stretch a little bit in Cobbler's pose, but I think we can get at it a little bit deeper here. All these stretches really help with the twists. You can breathe into it in the nose and out the mouth. Feel free to shimmy around a little bit. You know, maybe you want to go more back or down. Kind of, with keeping your arms straight, try to just get that maximum side body stretch. Walk your hands to the other side, and we'll do it on the other side, just kind of kicking a hip out. Maybe you feel it in your underarm. Maybe you feel it in your hip. Arms straight. Kind of move around a little bit to really get that maximum stretch. we keep a lot of tension in our upper body. So these upper body stretches, it can help us hold our tongue in a business meeting. One of our mottos at ShareLove.Fund is strong on the mat, strong in life. And becoming a great yoga teacher doesn't mean necessarily that you're going to teach yoga forever. I mean, we have doctors in our program. I'm a lawyer by trade. Optimizing yourself with the mind-body connection just means optimizing yourself. What you do with it, that's up to you. You can be a yoga teacher, you can be a grocer, you can be a doctor. But you're not going to be able to be as productive when you're doing your daily job plus holding on to tension. All right, let's go back to cat-cow a little bit. We'll do around the world one time, around the world other time. Let's push up to downward dog and tightening our stomach. Jump forward, exhale, forward fold. You can put your hands underneath your feet, pedaling out the feet a little bit. Just hold it on one side to really stretch. You can lean forward a little bit. If you don't feel this stretch, you can go do something like this, a twist, or both legs straight. Oops. But try to, try to feel the stretch. You can pedal out on the other side. Sometimes pedaling out just allows us to get a little deeper into it. A little deeper hamstring. Again, you'll feel it in your tightest point, so maybe that's your arms or your back. Inhale, half bend. Exhale, slowly roll up vertebrae by vertebrae with your head coming up last. We're going to go into our sun salutation, and then we'll add in the poses, including revolved lunge. And we will conclude with that. So we'll conclude with like a little mini cumulative review. So as you know, the share method in our RYT 200, we use the framework of sun salutation A, and then each week we add in a pose of the week to sort of spice up the sun salutation A. Every week ending in a 2, week 2, week 12, 22, 32, 42, and 52 is a sequence. So when you graduate, you will have 5 sequences for the 52 weeks, plus a little warm-up sequence is 6 sequences. And you also have sun salutation A, which is in and of itself the 7th sequence. And then you're encouraged to make up your own sequence, which is 8 sequences. We like to do things in 8 at ShareLove.Fund, in line with the 8 limbs of yoga and the ethical principles. So anyway, without further ado, because we did a lot of stretching work, let's just do a little review. Okay, inhale, arms up. So this is sun salutation A. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half bend. Exhale, left leg back, right leg back. Front plank. Then we curl the toes under and, sorry, I messed up. From plank, we do knees, chest, chin. From knees, chest, chin, we go into up dog. From up dog, we push up to down dog. From down dog, inhale, left leg forward, right leg forward. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half bend. Inhale all the way up, Tadasana. That completes sun salutation A on one side. Let's do it on the other side. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half bend. Right leg back, left leg back. From here, we're going to do knees, chest, chin. From knees, chest, chin, up dog. From up dog, down dog. From down dog, inhale, right knee in. Bring it forward, left leg in. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, inhale, half bend. Inhale all the way up, Tadasana. That completes Sun Salutation A on both sides. Now, let's spice it up with our pose of the week, the Revolved Lunge. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half bend. Exhale, left leg back. Right leg back. Then we're in plank. From plank, knees, chest, chin. From knees, chest, chin, up dog. From up dog, we have down dog. Down dog is always where our point of insertion is. Left leg in, step it forward. We're going to do Revolved Lunge. This is how we squeeze in Revolved Lunge to spice up this routine. You can think of Sun Salutation A as a basic salad, and Revolved Lunge is adding some pine nuts. Exhale, bring it down. Then we go back to down dog, like it never happened before. Down dog is always our point of insertion. Inhale, left leg in, step it forward, right leg to match. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half bend, arms all the way up through upward salute. Exhale, Tadasana. Let's do that on the other side. So we are adding our pose of the week, which is Revolved Lunge, into our basic Sun Salutation A to spice it up. That's the share method. We learn by repetition. There's no tests or quizzes. Our graduates have become amazing yoga teachers, and not all of them are literate because we do this method with repetition. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half bend. Exhale, right leg back. Left leg back. We're doing the same thing, but on the other side. From here is plank. Then we go knees, chest, chin. From knees, chest, chin, up dog. From up dog, down dog. Down dog is our point of insertion in the Sun Salutation A. Right knee in, step it forward, and we have Revolved Lunge. Revolved Lunge is our pose of the week. By repeating every week Sun Salutation A, and then adding poses for 45 of the weeks, and then reviewing for 5 of the weeks, every week ending in 2, reviewing all those poses. Graduates learn our 45 poses because all they have to learn is the 5 sequences, and we repeat it over a 52-week schedule. Now, these classes are optional. The 52-week schedule of hour-and-a-half classes is based for incarcerated women. It doesn't work for everyone in the public. So we offer a buffet. Take what you want. Okay, I tricked you into holding that pose and working it. Exhale, bring it back. Come back to down dog. It's like it never happened in our Sun Salutation. Inhale, right leg forward. Left leg comes to meet it. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half bend. Arms all the way up. And come back to Tadasana. You have completed your week 10 and warmed up a lot. And I hope you feel great. May the light in me be the light in you. Have a blessed day and namaste.